Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week number 16 of the 25-26 Premier League season. But before we begin, let's see how I did last week. I got 4 outcomes correct, so that is 4 points, taking my season total up to 90 points for the season. And this is how the Premier League table looks after 15 matches. And without further ado, let's predict this weekend's coming matches. And we're going to start out with Chelsea against Everton in a huge, well, not a huge match, but it's a classic. Chelsea haven't been on the best of form recently. They lost 2-1 to Atalanta in the Champions League midweek. Last week in the Premier League, they drew 0-0 to Bournemouth. And then Everton have been on up and down form recently. But, I mean, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall is firing on all cylinders this season. And I think Everton might just have enough to win this match. I'm going to back Everton to win 2-1. I don't know which Chelsea side will show up here, but I just think Everton, with their shooting quality, with like Dewsbury-Hall, Tieno Barry scored his first Premier League goal in the 3-0 win at the weekend, so I think Everton might just get it over the line. 2-1 to the Toffees. Next up, we've got Liverpool against Brighton. And this is an interesting one. Liverpool still not on the greatest of form. They did beat Inter Milan 1-0 in the Champions League. Last minute Szoboszlai penalty. As for Brighton are an interesting one. They're still on pretty good form in the Premier League, albeit a bit fallen off now. If this game was at the Amex, I would be fancying Brighton more for the win. But with it being at Anfield, Liverpool can show up. And Liverpool can show up with good results, good performances here and there. I think they might snatch a draw. I'm not going to go all out with a win, but I'm going to sit on the fence with a Desmond. A 2-2 draw on this one. I think, well, I say both sides will be happy with a point. Brighton will be the far happier, but I'm going with a 2-2 draw on game 2. Next up, we've got Burnley against Fulham. And Burnley with that 2-1 loss to Newcastle last week. Fulham with the 2-1 loss to Crystal Palace. Actually, of course, their second goal was disallowed. Burnley with the Zian Fleming with the last minute penalty to give Burnley a goal and deny my correct prediction of 2-0 Newcastle. However, Burnley is another side that on their day they can show up and get a result, maybe a draw over the line. But they aren't on the best of form. They've lost at least the last 5 games. As for Fulham, they've been fairly solid in recent weeks. So I think I'm going to back the Cottagers here. I'm going to back Fulham for a 2-1 win. I don't think I'll be comfortable, and at Turf Moor I can see Burnley scoring a goal, but Fulham edge it 2-1 to get the 3 points. Next up, we've got the biggest mismatch of the weekend. It is Arsenal against Wolves, top against bottom. And Wolves, with only the 8 goals scored this season, 2 points still. They are in serious trouble. As for Arsenal, though, they are firing. Just beat Club Brugge last night in the Champions League 3-0. And it's at the Emirates. And I do think I like Arsenal here. Wolves, they lost 4-1 to Manchester United on Monday night. So they can get results. But, well, no they can't. They can score goals. But I don't see them doing it. I don't see them scoring past this tricky Arsenal side, who are very good defensively. Defensively solid. I'm going for Arsenal to thrash them 4-0. I think Arsenal, the Gunners, need the 3 points here to keep their title charge alive. I think they'll get it over the line quite comfortably against Wolves, 4-0. Next up, we've got Crystal Palace against Manchester City. This is an interesting one, because I like Palace's form they're on at the minute. With Palace being the home side, I can see them winning this. I seriously can. Because Man City, they've been up and down recently. Of course, both these sides off the back of playing in Europe. Although Man City did just beat Real Madrid 2-1 in the Champions League last night. But it's different. I can see Palace winning, but I don't want to go against Man City either. So I'm going to sit on the fence with a 2-2 draw. Maybe Palace are winning 2-1 and Man City score a injury time equaliser. So 2-2 is where I'm going. Another Desmond. Next up, we've got the big one. It's the Tyne-Wear derby. It's Sunderland against Newcastle. And, well, this is an interesting one. Well, Sunderland have been on great form. They're yet to lose at home this season. They did lose 3-0 in their last match to Manchester City, but that's Man City at the Etihad. They're yet to lose at the Stadium of Light. They're against the Newcastle side, who have been scoring recently. They drew 2-2 last night with Bayer Leverkusen, in the Champions League, a last-minute equaliser for Leverkusen. But this is tricky. It could just as easily end in a draw. But I like Sunderland at home. And it's a derby. I know there'll be scraps in this one. That's one thing I can predict. But you know what? With it being... If I was at St James's Park, I might be fancying Newcastle a bit more. But let's go for Sunderland. Let's go Sunderland to win 2-1. I think the Black Cats might get the 3 points over the line and stay above Newcastle in the table, incredibly. So 2-1 to the Black Cats. Next up, we've got Nottingham Forest against Tottenham Hotspur in the Ange Postecoglou and Nuno derby. Of course, neither are there anymore. It's Sean Dyche against Thomas Frank now. And this is an interesting one. Forest were off the back of good results. They did lose last week. And then Spurs, on the flip side, they were in pretty bad form with Thomas Frank, but they've turned it around recently. They beat Slavia Prague 3-0 in the Champions League midweek on Tuesday, and, well, they won, I think, in the Premier League last week. But this is tricky because Forest are in this relegation tussle. I could see them winning, but the Spurs side are strong. I can see goals in this one. I'm going to sit on the fence with a third Desmond in this one, another 2-2 draw. I think both sides need the 3 points ideally in the relegation scrap and the battle for Europe, but I can see a point apiece here. 2-2 once again. Next up, we've got a claret and blue derby, technically. It's West Ham against Aston Villa. And West Ham are currently still in the bottom three. They're currently 18th in the league. They've been losing again more recently. I think when Nuno came in, they did have a new manager bounce, but recently it started to tail off. As for Aston Villa, they are the form side in the whole Premier League now, beating Arsenal 2-1 last week, which is an incredible result. They're now only 3 points off the league, top of the table. Can they be there at Christmas? Somehow I doubt it. But I do fancy Villa to win this one. They've got like Emi Buendia, Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins is scoring again. Marlon. They've got some good players. They've got some players that can score. And they're playing as a cohesive unit after that first month of hardly scoring any goals this season. I'm going for Villa to win 3-1. I think it's going to be quite comfortable. I think West Ham, being at the London Stadium, I'll give West Ham a goal, but Villa edge it. Well, Villa take it 3-1. Maybe with a couple last-minute goals as well. So 3-1 Villa. Next up, we've got Brentford against Leeds United. And this is another tricky one, because Brentford have, like, some good players scoring. They've got Igor Thiago is scoring, Ouattara. Those are two players that are firing for Brentford. But Leeds are on good form again under Daniel Farker. They got wins and draws over the line. I think they're just coming off the back of a 3-3 draw against Liverpool, which is a very impressive result, although Liverpool haven't been playing the best this season. This one's tricky. If it was at Ellen Road, I might be fancying Leeds to maybe snatch the win. But with it being at the G-Tech, I do think Brentford might just snatch an equaliser somewhere. Maybe it's 2-1 to Leeds for a lot of the match, and then a last-minute Igor Thiago penalty to equalise. I'm going for a 2-2 draw once again. What's that, a fourth Desmond of the week that I've predicted? But one of them's got to come in, surely. So, 2-2 is where I'm going. And then the final match is between two sides that are very difficult to predict this season. It's Manchester United against Bournemouth. And Manchester United, they've been alright recently. They just got that 4-1 win against Wolves over the line, but everybody's winning against Wolves. And Bournemouth, did they lose again? No, yeah, that's right. They drew 0-0 with Chelsea. I think, though, that with it being at Old Trafford, with a Man United side that are playing as a cohesive unit, I do think Man United will get it over the line. I'm going Manchester United to win 2-1. I think Bournemouth's form will improve again, but not just yet. So 2-1 to the Red Devils. And there you have it, guys. All 10 Premier League matches predicted for this weekend. Please let me know your predictions in the comments down below. And I'll see you all in the next one.